everyone, and welcome back to the Drag Racing Central YouTube channel. We are back at it again, second video. Thanks for all the support on the first one. That's got like 700 views now. Thanks for all the support on the first one for everyone who did watch the first one. If you did, I recommend you did. It's on the Tony Stewart deal that happened I think it's a week ago by now. But welcome. I'm going to start calling this Stories from the Strip. So that's going to be like the ideal of this. We're going to recap the Bristol race. We're going to talk about the NHRA news that was not talked about this week. And we're going to, I guess, do a little preview for Las Vegas, which Las Vegas is the next national event. So let's get into it. First, I'd like to congratulate all the Bristol winners. Mike Salinas, Alexis DeJoria, and Angel Sampay. All very deserving, even though the Friday timing system was a little bit out of whack. I'm going to get into that, though. The bumps at Bristol really showed their effect, and I think that's good. It's good to have tracks that have character. It's sort of like you look at NASCAR, Daytona, Talladega, they got their own character. It's good for NHRA to have our track that has character in it, too. And Bristol can be that track, that really rowdy, like, crazy, chaotic track. It certainly showed that. We had a lot of explosions. Round 1 in top fuel, like 5 explosions. Which my heart hurted for the team's wallets watching that. That's all I'm going to say. All I'm going to say on that. So, like I said, congrats to all the winners. Definitely deserving, everyone who won. Now, on the timing system. I'm going to get right into the timing system before we talk about the news for this week. But the timing system. And this all falls on NHRA. There's no hiding from this. NHRA, what is your timing system? Please, tell me. Or just SMI, because it's happened at all the SMI tracks. This is mainly, I would say this is more of an SMI thing than it is an NHRA thing. But the fact that this is even allowed to happen, we are the top level of drag racing. And I've seen bracket tracks, like local bracket tracks, with better and more consistent timing systems than we have at the top level of drag racing. Why? And the fact that this hasn't been dealt with and been totally ignored by the NHRA is unacceptable for the teams, the drivers, everyone involved, the fans, everyone involved. Especially with this being the playoffs, the countdown, championships are really close. 3 points could make your championship, and with the qualifying points, I don't agree with that. That should not have happened, especially with all the good news. After the Tony Stewart announcement, we have a lot of eyes on our sport this week because of that. A lot of people who may not have watched NHRA before are watching it for the first time. So if that's their first impression, that's not a very good first impression. So everyone at NHRA, just make sure it doesn't happen again. I would be more relaxed on this if it didn't happen at Charlotte, but it happened again. Just run a Prius down the track or something. Run something to make sure it works before you send any car down that track. Sportsman, comp, whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. Nitro, whatever. Run something down the track. Run a scooter down the track. It doesn't matter. Run something down the track to prove that those timing systems are working. Because for all the teams, that's a lot of money. I'm not going to get into specifics because I don't know how much money they spend on a run. Estimated, from what I heard, it's like $5,000. But I'm not going to quote on that because I don't think that's 100% sure. But we'll just say $5,000 for the sake of simplicity. $5,000 to get no time. That's got to sting for the teams. And it all falls on NHRA. This ain't the team's fault. The teams didn't do this. The track, you could blame the track, but NHRA is going to the track for the weekends, and it's NHRA's race, so it's up to them to test the timing systems to make sure they work. So, NHRA, be better on that. Don't let it happen again. I'm going to end that right there. I'm going to end the rant, I guess we'll call it right there. But anyways, more news for 2022. A lot of 2022 silly season news. Steve Torrence partners with Toyota, Torrence Racing. So that will be Steve and Billy Torrence, both the Capco boys. I don't see a lot of people talking about this and giving this the justice that it deserves. It truly deserves a lot more attention. Because think about it. You're taking an already dominant team. This team has been dominant as of now lately. You're taking that dominant team and giving them more money. You're giving them more resources. So expect more out of Steve Torrence then, because that's gonna be something to watch, especially since the main Toyota team, I should say, Coletta Motorsports, fell off a cliff this year. I don't know. They're still down in the valley looking for stuff. I don't know what they're doing, but Coletta Motorsports fell off a cliff, so I guess Toyota went to Torrance to try and find a driver that's going to win consistently in Top Fuel and now they got that. So that's the whole idea with the Torrance Racing going the Toyota thing. And all those people that say, oh, it's them cheating Toyotas, blah, 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 blah. Don't listen to those people. Those people are stupid. Anyways, next up, Jim Doan Racing signs DePinto for 2022 and beyond. This, again, what we need. We need more sponsors signing drivers. Sponsorship coming into the sport, no matter what occasion, is good. So I'm in support of this, and plus DePinto has a lot of really good paint schemes. Their paint schemes look really good. Like, I like their paint schemes. But that's about all I have to say on that. But maybe we'll see them step up their competition and see the Jim Dunn racing car driven by Jim Campbell. I think it's Jim Campbell that drives the Jim Dunn racing car. Maybe we'll see them get a little bit more competitive, and maybe they can go out for a while. Matt Smith is changing to Suzuki for 2022. I'm not surprised after what we saw with Steve Johnson did with the Suzuki. I'm not surprised by that at all. I expect a lot of the pro stock motorcycle teams that run Harleys now to change to Suzuki, especially since I think it was last year. It was last year or this year they added the 4-valve Suzukis, which seemed to be a lot faster than the other Suzukis were. So definitely that's something you'd expect. I expect a lot more teams to make that switch too, so be on the lookout for news and pro stock motorcycle for that to be happening. And Cameron Ferre will be running the remainder races in 2021 with EMP1 Incorporated as his main sponsor. I don't really know what that sponsor is. I'm going to probably do a little bit more research into what they do, but that's good. Driver getting sponsor, what we need, fine. Let it go. We need more sponsors. And the fact that I've seen people on social media complain about it is amazing. But I'm not here to complain about people on social media. And in my opinion, the biggest news of the week: Josh Hart to full time next season. That is what we need. I've said before, Josh Hart is the next generation. He will be the way we look at like Tony Schumacher now. Maybe not that good, but maybe like how would you? Maybe like an Antron Brown or like a Sean Langdon. He's gonna be the next. He's the next generation. He's gonna be the next Sean Langdon, the next Antron Brown. So that is big news. And the fact that he's running full time and he's actually in a competitive car that can beat Torrance, because there's not many people out there that can beat Torrance, especially if Brittany keeps falling asleep at the line. But yeah, that's great news. We need that. Josh Holeshot Hart, as I've been calling him, that's my nickname for him. And why don't we get more drivers' nicknames too? Like, come on, we need more drivers need nicknames. But that is great news out of Josh Hart. So next race for Vegas, which is I think in 2 weeks. Vegas is a long ways away, which I have to go a weekend without watching NHRA, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. So picks for Vegas, I'm gonna give out some Vegas picks. For Top Fuel, I'm going with Steve Torrance. You can't decide against him. I'm sorry. It's like impossible. I want to be unique, but I can't because you can't go against Steve Torrance. It's impossible. For Funny Car, J.R. Todd had a great weekend this weekend. I think that team has finally figured it out, but they just ran up short to Alexis, and Alexis had a brilliant, I think it was a 002 light in the final round at Bristol, so brilliant job by Alexis, but I think J.R. Todd's gotten close. He's going to get one of these times. But for Pro Stock, I'm going with Dallas Glenn. I think Dallas Glenn's going to get it done. He's shown what he can do this season. He's a candidate for Rookie of the Year, even though I think Josh Hart is probably going to get Rookie of the Year over Dallas Glenn. And I think Josh Hart would deserve it more. Sorry, all the Dallas Glenn fans. Everyone's going to have their own opinions on that, though. Everyone's going to have their own way of thinking about that. And for Pro Stock Motorcycle, I'm going with Steve Johnson. The man's done a lot this season. I think this is his season. He's gonna get the championship this season. This is gonna be his season. I'm calling it right here. So anyone else can come back and watch this and tell me I was wrong. Fine, great. But he's winning the championship. I'm calling it now, putting the chips on the table. But anyways, that's gonna be it for me on Drag Racing Central. So I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one, which will probably be after the Vegas race unless some news drops next week, which who knows if that'll happen. Silly season's rapid right now, so who knows if that'll happen. But I'll see you guys in the next one.